Poor people of Reddit, what do you wish wealthy people would understand? Poor people don't have the freedom to take chances. Money might not buy happiness, debatable, but it buys security and good luck being happy without that. Being poor is so expensive. The stress of constantly just managing wears you out. People who aren't rich want the same things for their kids that the wealthy want for them. That affordability changes your priorities a lot. The one I run into is folks who can't afford a repair on a car, and the more well-off people being befuddled why they'd risk it. I've had to have the conversation about affordability more than I'd like. Customers sometimes declined break service because they rather pay rent and roll the dice hoping to get by a little longer, not because they are all just cheap. A quick windfall gets spent quickly because there's always something you need but have been holding off on. A short disaster will incur debt that takes far longer to pay off. Such is life with marginal income. Being poor isn't a result of being lazy. My parents worked their asses off and continue to do so. They work harder than anyone I know, but they are still poor. Not being able to truly take care of your health. That it is expensive to be poor. Having to walk somewhere because you don't even have money for public transit. I worked as a waitress and broke my leg. I had to live on next to nothing for 6 weeks. To get my very limited groceries, I got my crutches out and managed the 30-minute round trip to the store and back. They love the phrase we have the same 24 hours but I don't have someone to do my laundry for me, make my dinner, clean my house. It's not as easy to change your situation as everyone makes it out to be. It's so often not about bad choice bad with money. That being too poor to afford their third trip overseas for the year is not the same as having to live off the same 2 vegetables for a fortnight. When they say, if you can't afford to pay cash you can't afford it. Yeah, well, try going without a fridge, a water heater, and AC in Florida, no less. That's the last 3 things I had to put on a credit card. The guilt that comes with being poor. That you're doing everything in your power and it's still not enough, yet everyone tells you that if you just work hard enough you'll get enough money. It isn't true. Hard work and low, socioeconomic jobs results in more work and being kept in the same position because no one else can do as much as you in that position. No pay rise either, because somehow despite doing more you're also just doing the same job as everyone else. We're not jealous of your material possessions, we're jealous of the stability and security money brings. Not exactly poor now, but been there. There is a poor tax. You pay out a bunch you can't afford to deal with the fact you can't afford normal shit. The story of the boots is very real. You pay a hell of a lot more over time because you can't afford the good shit now, so you have to buy it over and over. Interest when you buy on time is a lot more. You have to pay a lot of fees because you have to decide what to pay this month, etc. A strong middle class greatly expands the economy, increasing their wealth. Squeezing us all is counterproductive. I'd just like for folks to glimpse at what it's like to need medical care and not be able to access it, navigating free clinics and community health centers with all the administrative obstacles and wait lists and poor service, having minimal or no preventative care as you age. God help you if you need mental health services. Remember when Celia on Weeds went from a private drug rehab to a publicly funded one? You can't invest your savings in stocks or whatever when you have no savings. And no, the reason we don't have savings isn't because of fucking avocado toast. Not having minor and major inconveniences makes you out of touch with us and how a majority of people live. We are doing the best we can with what we have. Oftentimes those choices seem crazy, wrong, unthinkable, but we are just choosing the best out of the worst each time and trying to deal with it all. It's enormously stressful.